This is me, Kate Johnson. I was born and bred in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State, Nigeria. Umuahia is known for its peaceful and quiet environment, but an average resident in this town suffers one plague: mediocrity. In November 2021, I left Umuahia for Lagos for my law school, and that was like the longest I have stayed outside this town. Relating with people from other parts of the country made me realize how not so updated I was. This kind of took a toll on my self-esteem, but I didn't have time to attend to that. December 2022, I was called to the Nigerian bar. January 2023, I moved to Lagos again for my NYSC, and in that same month, I decided to reinvent myself. I'm going to be sharing 5 things I did that literally changed my life in 2023 that I'm also going to be repeating in 2024. Hi guys, what's up? I know you'll be wondering what's going on, what's up with the new background. I decided to take it up a notch, so it's giving new year, new me in it. So welcome, just butterfly ride with Kate Johnson, and I, Kate Johnson. I'm going to be your captain for today's ride, and I've got one question for you. Are you ready to ride with me? If you're ready, then come along. Give us. We need to take it. Give us. 2022 was not such a great year for me. It was more of pain, anguish, everything. A lot of things happened in 2022 that made my mood go down the drain. So I was in that place of pain, I was in that place of murmuring, I was in that place of complaint, I was in that place of regret. I felt stuck. I felt I was in a phase of my life where I wasn't doing anything with my life, where I wasn't doing well. I felt like I was not achieving anything. My life was not just progressing. Like, I felt like my life sucked. That's just the summary of it. Finished my law school and was called to bar in 2022. I wanted to start my practice in Lagos. That's my legal practice in Lagos. And if you know Lagos, or if you know law practice in Lagos, there's usually that hype around grades, especially in the first few years of your practice as a legal practitioner. So it's very important that you have a very high grade. My own was now that I did not get the desired grade I wanted. I felt so bad. And looking back, and I'm even asking myself, who the hell do you think you are? Because there are people that failed this exam, for goodness sake. Like, are you trying to say that you are smarter than all those persons? But I think it was just a phase of life that I was in. There were a lot of things that didn't just work out. Marriage, finances, a lot of things that didn't work out. I came into 2023 with ingratitude. I came into 2023 with anxiety, because that was like the first year that I was out of school. I had just moved to Lagos. I was about doing my NYSC. I was not settled with respect to PPA. Just a lot of things were not settled. So I was so anxious. Like, a lot of times my heart would start racing. So I'm not even going to say that I started the year right. I'm so grateful to God that along the line, my life changed. I think it was a kairos moment for me, because the things that God helped me get in 2023, I know they are going to last me for at least a decade. So I'm just going to share with you the 5 things I did different in 2023 that literally. The first one is reflection. I got my job as my 9-to-5 legal job on 23rd January 2023, but I went back to Lagos on 7th January. So between then and 23rd, I was just at home. I was just telling myself, things cannot continue the way they've been. And what are you going to do with your life exactly? You are here now. Like, leave whatever has happened in the past. What are you going to do differently? How do you make the most of the season or the phase that you are in? So that was basically the kind of conversation I was having with myself at the time. I found out the areas that I wasn't doing well. As at then, how I handled it was, I felt bad. I felt disappointed with myself. So now I've learned to take it easy on myself and be nicer to myself and be more strategic instead of being too critical of myself. There was like a moment of deep reflection where I had to admit to myself, these are areas that you are good at and these are areas that you need to work on. So that was like the next step I did was to take action. By taking action, it was literally me praying, because trust me, I was as confused as confusion itself. When I was in law school, the church I attended, Dominion City, Victoria Island, it was so amazing, right? But when I came back, I was not sure I wanted to go back there. I was bored, like I said, I was at home, so I didn't really know much persons in Lagos. And the people I knew were more of colleagues, and everybody had moved on with their life, started working. So who was I even going to be meeting? Happened at that period, the January prayer and fasting was going on. So we're meeting Tuesdays, Fridays, Sundays. So I started going to church Tuesday, Friday, Sundays. So people that knew me from law school, automatically, before I knew it, I saw myself. Like, one day I went to say hi to one of our pastors, and she just handed me to another pastor that handed me to another person. Like, I was just followed up immediately. Before I knew it, I became a worker. I became like a semi leader. I don't know. I'm not like a core leader. But I just joined the workforce, literally. Getting into that community, getting into that space was literally what God started using to transform my life. Anybody that knows Dominion City knows that they are a people development focused church. Like, that's one of their core values. So like, going there, sitting under different preachings, oh my goodness, it was glorious. I don't want to make it look like I was lazy and laid back, right? So as God led me, I still went. I could have gone the first week and decided not to go the second week. I could have been asked to join workforce, and I would say I'm not joining. So there was still that part where I took action. Yeah. So that was like the second thing I did. Number 3, taking action. I invested in knowledge. Oh my goodness. Hey, that last year, any place they say they are saying, you see me there. Before last year, I always had the mindset of there's information everywhere. You can always cash in on information. For instance, if somebody tells me learn how to grow your skill, I'll say, is it not on YouTube? I used to have that whack mentality. So, but last year was a year that I decided to invest in knowledge. I joined that community. I made sure I was always in church. Sometimes I would go back after sermons, especially the ones that minister greatly to me. So, of course, every sermon minister greatly to me, but like there are some that you know that this sermon you need to go back. So I'll go back and rewatch them. I committed to listening to Apostle Selman every Sunday. Of course, you know that listening to Apostle Selman is like it's like listening to Apostle Selman. I committed to it that every week, every sermon he preaches every Sunday, I'm going to listen to it. So those things helped me. Also, when it comes to my skill, I know I have a thing for content creation. I'm a creative by nature. I decided to hone my skill. Like ordinarily, I would have said I'll just go on YouTube and watch it. There was a course I saw by Independent, but I signed up for it. The truth of the matter is that a lot of things she said I already knew, but the fact that I signed up for that course, I felt like it was like me sowing a seed because I saw the results in less than no time. Signing up for that class, it helps me in my finances. There was something I manifested by attending that class. There was also a course by Global Temi that I invested in. I made out time to read books like No Excuses by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. So like a lot of books, even studying the Word of God, listening to other preachers. I invested in knowledge, and that literally changed. The first one is I got closer to God. Like I already mentioned, I did not just invest in secular knowledge, I invested in Christian knowledge. So that led me to getting closer to God. Worshiping in a church like Dominion City and listening to people like Apostle Selman, like those things propel you to become closer to God. The fact that you take out time every week, every day, and you are listening to something, like they'll definitely get you closer to God. So I know I really, really got closer to God. And that was when I realized how much I had been far away from Him. Was I still praying or going to church, all those things? I was doing those things very well. But I actually realized that there were a lot of things I was not doing. For instance, it was during Hallelujah Challenge, the October session, that I realized that I had never joined the Hallelujah Challenge before. Like I know that maybe there had been a couple of times that I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw that it's on. I'll just like join for like 5 minutes, but I had never joined from beginning to end. And the Hallelujah Challenge has been existing since I think 2017 or 2018. And probably I've been one of the persons that have been preaching it. Oh, try and join Hallelujah Challenge. God blesses people through there. Worship God through Hallelujah Challenge. But I had never joined the Hallelujah Challenge. Just giving that man by the pool of Bethsaida, be Bethesda, by Bethesda vibes, like you've just been around the water for 38 years, but you've never entered it. For a long time, I hadn't fasted like proper fasting because of my health. There was a health condition I had at some point. But that last day that we trusted God for healing. So that getting close to God made me trust God for healing and say, God, I want to fast. I want to kill this flesh. I want to fast. So help me. And He did help me. And that was how I started fasting. The fifth one is that I became more obedient. One thing is knowing, and that thing is doing. If you know something and you're not doing it, you're wasting your time. You're as good as somebody that does not know. So in that process, while I listened to teachings in church, I listened to Apostle Selman, I invested in knowledge, listened to people like Bella, listened to people like Global Temi, plus many other persons that I reached out to. If they had taught me and I did not listen to them, it would be a waste of time. I remember when I signed up for Bella's class, she said do 7 days creativity challenge. I did it. Before I was saying, yeah, I'll do it, and I'll end up not doing it. Because last thing is when I found out how disobedient I had been. And that's one of the things that was affecting my life. They'll say jump up 7 times, they say I will jump up. It's just giving that Neiman vibes. That time they told them, go and wash yourself, and people say, there are better pools in this. But they told you go to River Jordan and wash. So obedience is very important, especially obedience to God. I started a whole long journey on obedience to God. I was like, God help me. I don't know how to do this thing. I'm still in the journey, right? Before I got a hang of it, and I'm still like getting a hang of it. And I found out that obedience to God it might not really make sense, but it works. God might tell you off this AC. And you'll be thinking, oh, God is telling me to off this AC so that I'll not get cold. It might not necessarily be why He's telling you to off that AC. He's probably telling you to off that AC to check your credibility in the spirit, so that He'll be certain to know if He tells you, leave this room now, your destiny helper is downstairs, go and meet him or go and meet her. So that He wants to ascertain that if you are spiritual, if you are credible in the spirit to obey the much more things. Now the Bible says, if you are faithful with the little you are given, much more will be committed to you. Yeah. So that might just be God trying to find out, okay, do you have that credibility in the spirit realm? Those little things that you say, oh, it was just an instinct. No, it is God talking to you. So I became more particular with those things. I'm not there yet, but I thank God for the progress I have made. So these are things I did that literally changed my life.